Hey guys, in this video I'll be commentating about a Rogue versus Mage match I had on Legend Ladder. Um, this is Water Rogue versus Pocket Galaxy Mage. That's the best name to call it. Let's get right into the match. So in the opening hand, cards you want to keep against Mage are cards that you're looking for really Blink Fox, Evil Miscreant. Those are the two good ones. Maybe Vendetta. I kept Backstab in this opening hand because it's it's still a good tool as early game removal. So really two reasons why I kept Backstab. First, it gets rid of cards like Sorcerer Apprentice, Banana Buffoon for Cyclone Giants Mage, um, and against um, Pocket Galaxy Mage, it's not as useful. But in that case, at least it serves as a combo activator. So opening hand looks pretty good. Mainly, I was looking here for Coin Evil Miscreant turn. That is almost always Rogue's highest win rate. When they can coin Miscreant, you should. So I don't even think about it turn two. I just snap Coin Miscreant. And what I was thinking here is my hand was I saw the Hench Clan Burglar and the Vendetta, so that was a good combo. Turn three, I was most likely going to Evil Cable Rat and hope to get the Evolve Lackey so I can use on my Miscreant. If not, I'd play whichever Lackey would be most appropriate. I was considering Shadow Step this turn, but didn't want to go for it just yet, especially because I had an alternate line with the Cable Rat and then the Lackey. So looking at these spells, I was really thinking um, which one would be best. Sap. It was between Sap and Unidentified for me. Daring Escape was a little. Um, it's too slow. There's some scenarios where it can be good, but when your hand is kind of full already, you really don't want to return all of your minions to your hand, and just a loss of tempo. You won't have enough time to play everything out to get full values. Sap is don't get me wrong, it's a very good removal, but against cards like um, Giant, really any of the Giants, usually they can just replay the Giant for pretty easily the following turn. So you don't really the strength of Sap is that you are able to kind of cheat mana from your opponent. You pay 2 mana to send a card back to their hand, and they have to pay maybe 6 or 7 mana, to play it twice. So they play 7 mana the first time, and then they have to pay 7 mana the second time to play a 7 drop if you sap. But in terms of giants, usually they cost 3, 2. They can be really cheap. So I was gonna go with the contract here, and that's what I ended up picking. Um, the contract also has, I could get the betrayal effect. One of the contracts gives you basically a betrayal when you assassinate a target. So I ended up getting the poisonous one, which is also not that bad. It means I could kill one of their big minions, and then if he doesn't do some AOE, then I could use my patient assassins to kill his follow up minion the next turn. So happy with the choice there. So here with the burglar, here with the doomsayer, um, my thought process was I'm in turn four. How can I get rid of this doomsayer and still develop something on the board at the same time? So the choice was pretty obvious. I went with the Hench Clan burglar, and then I would follow it up with a backstab vendetta, and then a 1/1 to take care of the doomsayer. So this allowed me to get 4 more power onto the board and keep my other 2 minions from dying. Whereas if I let that doomsayer goes off, he has 5 mana to do whatever he wants, and I have nothing on the board to pressure him. So I saw on 5 he plays Galaxy, and that was pretty bad for me. Like usually when they play Galaxy on curve like that, and you don't have too much pressure on the board, it's bad news. Um, and on my turn 5, I had really no other play than Shadow Stepping Miscreant. Remember we talked about saving Shadow Step earlier because we had alternate line. Well, this turn I didn't really have much to develop, so Shadow Step was the play. I'll just get 2 more lackeys in my hand. I ended up getting the Faceless Lackey, which is surprisingly good in this position to develop the board. And the wild pyro pickup was a little unfortunate because, as you can notice in my hand, I have a lot of spells. So wasn't too pleased with that, but at least this turn I wasn't playing to play another spell. So I did play that Rush Lackey onto my 5/3 just to push one extra face. Normally I wouldn't do this, but first of all, I have another copy of that Rush Lackey in my hand, and second, I need to pressure this mage. He just played Pocket Galaxy, meaning minions are all his high-powered minions are all one cost in this deck. The longer this game drags on, the easier it would be for him to just blow me out with some freezes and playing a bunch of strong minions in one turn. So I had to basically get the pressure rolling. Um, so yeah, his turn six, he drew, and I was not pleased to see Arcane Intellect. I was really hoping he didn't get cheap one cost, cheap one cost minions. Um, and so here he was playing Rabble Bouncer and the Keysmith. When I saw the Keysmith, I'm like, okay, what secret is he most likely going to pick? And I pretty much knew he was going to take Ice Barrier here if he got offered it, because that's really like for him, he just needs to survive until he plays a bunch of big threats and then finishes me off in like one or two turns. So I was thinking here it's probably Ice Barrier or Counterspell. And then looking at my hand, I didn't really want to expend my Assassinate, could have been Counterspell, and I didn't want to check with Backstab because I had Wild Pyro. So really, the playing the Togwaggle was pretty obvious here. And to fully explain it, for me, the options are usually between Wand and Crown. That's pretty standard. Usually, you don't pick the other two. Um, and the rule of thumb is you want to go Crown for board presence and Wand for removal slash tempo out of your hand. So because my board is full, or quite full, I didn't want to go with the Crown. Um, and in case he froze my board over multiple turns, at least I could play, maybe I draw my weapon from my deck that costs 0 mana, some spells that cost 0 mana. So the wand seemed like the best choice. And then, yeah, standard stuff. Went with the Vendetta. Killed my Pyro first, so my Vendetta wouldn't clear my 1/1s. And then just clear the rest of his minions. And push all to the face. So here, going in turn 7, I was feeling pretty good. I have a treasure in my hand. He has nothing on the board. Then I saw Alexstrasza for 1 mana. I'm like, shit, I could just get cheese out of this game real fast. And the Conjurer's Calling. So, and he got a rush minion, so I thought, shit, I lose my 5/5, and instead he did something even worse for me. He froze my entire board and then has 13 power on the board, and I'm at 15 life. So you can see here really the strength of this Galaxy Mage when you draw Pocket Galaxy on 5. He just dealt 14 damage to me for 1 mana and then summoned. So for 4 mana, he dealt 14 damage and got 13 power on the board. Just think about that for a second. It's insane. And then the Frost Nova was really so. This in this spot, I was like, shit. I'm in a really bad spot. Luckily, I had the Assassinate in my hand, the contract. So in this turn, I'm like, there was really two options for me. I could either go with Wand or the contract. With Wand, maybe I'd find my sap, maybe I'd find some cheap cards. But the problem is I only have one board space right now, if you notice. And that means I can't really play a lot of minions. I can't play a minion and then my Rush Lackey to kill his minions because I only have one empty slot on the board. So I just went with the contract and passed. I know this still left a 6/6 on the board, but really it was my best shot. I just had to hope he can kill me over 2 turns with the 6/6. So um, and looking into his turn 8, I'm like, okay, how can I kill him now? And what's worst case scenario? So worst case scenario for me is he just keeps freezing my board turn after turn. Which I think, yeah, he did use a blizzard here. So I was feeling like shit, I'm in trouble. He just, cleared 4 minions from my board, froze the other 3, and he has a 6/6 on board. So I'm like, okay, I need something really good from this wand. The Waggle Pick draw was good. I was hoping I pulled it with the wand, so it'd be 0 mana. But I just snap use the wand because it's my best card right now. And I got the sap, so I was super happy. I could sap the 6/6 and basically remove it for the rest of this game. And then here, after sapping the 6/6, I was like, okay, do I need? I was thinking, how can I die after I kill Acolyte? He could Frostbolt or Fireball me, and then I'd lose. So as much as I didn't want to use Ziliax on the 1/3, what I could have done is just SI'd his face, use my Rush Lackey on the SI, and then killed his Acolyte and then preserving the Ziliax in my hand. But I was just afraid of lethal. You could say that that might be incorrect. Like I should have saved the Ziliax, but the pick was always going to be played because I just wanted to get it, develop it on the board, and start hitting in the face. I realized I need to close this game through direct damage. I have a Mind Blast in my hand, I have a Lackey in my hand that deals 2. I need to close the game as fast as possible before he does more, 1 mana shenanigans bullshit with his Galaxy deck. So I ended up going with the Ziliax, and then I was always going to SI his face. Um, and obviously swing with my pick. There's no reason for me to play the Rush Lackey here. I couldn't send its 1 damage to the face because I had no minion that could attack face directly this turn, so I just chose to keep it in my hand and pass. Only thing I could have done differently that turn was not playing Ziliax. But I decided I just wanted the healing just to play it safe. So I was thinking here, if he gets more 1 cost, like really good 1 cost minions, I can lose, and then like another freeze. I don't know how to deal with multiple multiple giants and then another freeze, board wide freeze. So really hoping I could. I knew I had 9 damage, or actually 11 damage from hand with the pick, the Mind Blast, and the 2 damage lackey. So was really hoping he doesn't fully board freeze or like something on my board lives, and then I'd be at a pretty good spot of winning the game. So he ended up going with he was kind of roping, so he might not have done this turn optimally. So going into this turn, I was counting my damage, and so you can see 4 from the pick, 5 from my minion. So if you count board plus my weapon, that is 13 damage. Then I had 18 from Mind Blast, and the 1 damage or the 2 damage lackey I know had to go into Ziliax because I can't charge something to Ziliax otherwise because he gets 3 lifesteal. So really the lackey's committed to the 3/2, and then excluding the lackey I have 18 damage with board, weapon, and Mind Blast, and then I had 19 if I use my Rush Lackey on one of my minions. That could go face. So I had 19 damage, 1 off lethal, and that means I wasn't even considered clearing his board here. I'm like, I have to win this turn. If I, keep going the value route, he's just gonna blow me out of this game with more cheap minions and freezes. And I know he had another Conjurings in his hand, so um, there basically I knew I had to win this turn. There was no way I was gonna win by keep playing board control. So the only way I'm going to win here is if my Waggle Pick's effect of bouncing something back to my hands lands on either my Damage Lackey after I play it, um, maybe on my Miscreant, and then I play it again and get a couple more lackeys. So I started off. So I started off with killing the Ziliax, obviously, and then I went with the Cable Rat to look for damage. I'm like, okay, I'll Cable Rat first. If I get any of the damage lackeys, I just win because remember I just need 1 damage to win the game. So that's 3 lackey. 2 out of the 5 lackeys would win me the game. And if I didn't get any of those 2 good ones, then I just attack with everything and hope the Waggle Pick bounces back either my Damage Lackey or my Miscreant or my Cable Rat, and then I replay Cable Rat and then try and get the 2 damage here. But none of that ended up mattering because my Cable Rat gave me the best Lackey, the 2 damage, so I just ended up having lethal. But I just wanted to go over my thought process because I did not have lethal, and I'm like, okay, worst case scenario where my Cable Rat does not give me lethal, what combination or what orderings of cards should I play to maximize my chances of a good bounce back from my pick? So I do end up with lethal. But yeah, that was this matchup in a nutshell. It's as the rogue, you definitely have to be the aggressor because, especially after the Pocket Galaxy Mage plays Pocket Galaxy, because after that their minions become super cheap. They're high value minions, and you just have to rush them down before they overwhelm you with value. Or in this case, just play Alexstrasza for 1 mana and then finish you off with a fireball or something of the sort. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this commentary. Do you like the style? Do you just like to see the games? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.